Welcome everybody. We are live again. Let's just hop right into it because we got 30 minutes and we got lots to pack in here. Everyone is chasing clicks and views and the next big viral moment, but smart, sustainable businesses are focused on something else entirely, and that is showing up with purpose and building real connections. So this week on 30, we've just changed the name, by the way, from the Q&A to 30 with Karen and Justin, or 30 with Justin and Karen, whoever's doing the podcast. We're joined today by Katherine Dobson. She's an account executive at CHCH who knows exactly how media is evolving because she's been in it for so freaking long that she's seen all the changes and knows all the things, and how local businesses can stay ahead without selling their souls to the algorithm. ChatGPT for the win there. Katherine, how are you?
I'm really good. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So first of all, I kind of want to go back to the beginning because you've told me many times, like, I've been in this since I was, 16 or even less than that? I don't know.
I was 16 years old when I started in media. I can't even believe
how does that come about? Was it like a modeling thing or an acting thing or how did you end up in the media?
I was actually at Central High School.
We were together, yes.
And a company came through to different high schools throughout Burlington, and they were looking for anchors. Really? And I just thought, oh, what the heck? I'll audition. And they needed 2 anchors. It was throughout all of Halton, so not just Burlington. Not that was that much bigger. And sure enough, they chose me and another young gentleman, and that was the very beginning. And it's so cool.
And you kind of just fell in love, is what the sounds of it, because you have such an unreal passion for this whole thing, like the energy that you exude today. Oh, look, we have Karen joining us today. It's 103. Karen's in the car. This is great. We've started already, Karen. We're good. We can see you. We can hear you.
Okay. You can't see me though.
No, I can see you. It's fine.
Oh,
we're
Karen,
good.
Can you see me? Oh,
yeah,
great.
This is great. We're good. So I was just asking Katherine, about her passion and what, like, to sustain a career in this for, I don't know, 10 years since you were 16, I imagine. How does that happen? How do you keep the passion alive? What do you do? Do you use a lot of energy drinks? What is it?
Well, I'm very disciplined. That's the truth. I really I most days I get up, around 6 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m. And I'm just, my biggest thing is that I absolutely love people and I love helping them. Right. I got over myself really quickly when I was young. So, you were mentioning, being the next hot thing or people wanting to be and on social media or whatever it may be. By the time I was 28 years old, I was done with that. I didn't want to be famous anymore. I actually just wanted to be a mom. I wanted to make money. I wanted a family. And that's exactly why I turned my focus from journalism and being on air to going into the sales side. And it was just a natural progression for me because I knew so many people throughout Ontario because I was all over. I was at different television stations, radio stations throughout the GTA and the GHA. So I knew a lot of people. I knew a lot of people in the business. As I go through life, it's great to just, even at where I am now at CHCH, like I knew half the people when I was from when I was 20 years old. Some of them I went to school with. So it's just been that was the reason I got over myself. And I just wanted to, I'd rather put you on television, make you money, make your brand stand out above everybody else's. Oh, that for me is like the best thing on the planet. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what the media cycle, the celebrity cycle, as it were, moves really quickly. New people coming, new faces all the time. You know, the next but greatest thing coming up behind you. What have you done to be able to kind of block those off and just focus on your goal and focus on your dreams?
Like, do you mean career wise? Like focus on
Yeah, like because
clients?
obviously there's always someone chasing you right behind you for that's the next greatest thing, especially on camera stuff, right? Like as on camera people, like there's always a hotter, younger, whatever model of us that will take over. Like, you know, I'm waiting for the next me to come along and take over this thing, you know. And so what does it feel like, and how do you kind of avoid that pressure and just focus on what you want?
Yeah, that's not my problem. I just got, okay, you're over there.
That's amazing.
I
like
just,
water off a
Good
duck's
for
back.
you.
I just
Good
keep
for
moving
you.
forward. You know what? But in saying that, the coolest thing has happened in that, like I have these two beautiful children, and my daughter's going to university and she's going for sociology. She's not one that's interested in being in front of the camera. She's not one who's interested in media yet. I have her. She's working at CHCH on our street team, and she's doing social media content for our boxing studio and their
Yeah.
wellness spa. I mean, it's incredible. And she has no ego. She has no interest in really going into that field. But it's amazing to see. Right.
It goes to show you that there's opportunity everywhere in that regard.
There's opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like, she obviously found that opportunity with your studio and said, listen, I'm young. I know what I'm doing. I'll do this for you. Here we go. Right.
You know, what's cool too. And in both those jobs that she applied for, she did not use me as a reference, and her last name is different from mine. So
Cool.
it was great. So I mean, I obviously
no nepotism.
My boxing studio knew who she was, but it turned out, oh my God, they just love her. Like it's just, and the same with CHCH. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
Let's shift to a little bit to like the idea of, you know, what the next trends are. Oh, sorry guys. We have a little bit of a special guest popping in. Katherine has arranged a surprise for us. And this is kind of a big deal for me because growing up, this was a big deal. Here we go, folks. Be ready. We've got the one and the only. Oh, we can't see him yet. Hang on.
If we can't see your face, we don't want you.
There we go. Bubba. What? Bubba O'Neil, CHCH sportscaster, man of the hour at the moment in my world. How's it going?
Not bad. I don't know about man of the hour, but I'm happy to join on. It was with three amazing people with wonderful personalities. I'm really happy, and I'm sorry about the news. There's kind of a news meeting going on right now behind me, so if you hear a lot of noise, you just know that the newsroom is a place of action. So
right in the thick of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of things going on right now. But happy to be with you three. What's going on?
Well, we were just talking about trends. I was going to jump into a conversation about trends in the media. And actually, it's an interesting moment that you popped in because, you know, sports trends have changed over the years. Yep. One of the things I said about you was that, you know, so a couple weeks ago, I went to the Hamilton Tiger Cats Stadium, and I met the CFL commissioner, great guy. What I figured about the idea of that sport, the CFL, is that it's very grassroots, very down to earth, very real, right? And very community oriented because of how these teams are set up. I sort of liken that to your personality when I was talking before, and the idea that like you are the community sports guy that everybody knows around this area. And so what trends are you seeing? How have things shifted in the news media when it comes to sports and the way things are looked at because of social media and things like that?
Well, you just said the key word right there, social media. So the reach that we're seeing right now between athletes, teams, and we'll call it the fan base, whether it be local or national, is so much on the regular now. I mean, there was a time where really you could only connect with an athlete or a team maybe once a week or once a month. Now you're seeing the fact that not only are people in the regular news media contacting athletes and talking to teams. You're seeing what what I would call bloggers, right? Now that are out there, and they're in much more closer contact to the athletes. So in essence, all this material is going out to the consumer, right? To the fan base, and they're all getting this. I'll extend it to the fact too, is that what you're seeing with teams, which we've never seen before, and now teams are, I will use the CFL. Every team in the CFL right now has its own media network, we'll call it that way. Now, thus, us in the media sometimes are critical of these home bases because they control the message, right? Right. They control the message, as opposed to, you will find, whether it be CHCH or Sportsnet or TSN that are looking to break stories. Well, these teams can control the message by, only allowing what information they want out. But that's just another source for the consumer to enjoy the daily goings on of their favorite team. So there's just so much going on right now. And I'll even go one step further, is athletes are now being more involved in media because it's so easy to do, just like we're doing right now. You can just hop on a podcast. You can create your own podcast. You can, you're seeing athletes coming together. We've had players now writing their own articles. So I just think the contact is a lot closer right now. And I think that's the biggest trend right now, is your ability to connect with an athlete on so many different levels is so much easier now than it's ever been.
It got me a little bit thinking there when you were talking about the idea, as well, is that a lot of these athletes come out of the sport and really, what do they do now? Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of options. Now, you've got Biz and the boys over at the podcast up there on the Spit and Chicklets. Like, they're doing these kinds of things after their career. Trevor Bauer is creating a whole presence around himself, even though his career kind of fell apart after those allegations and things. Like, there's so many different ways that these athletes can actually shift their career into something different.
Well, just to not to get into there, but like, think about Pat McAfee, who's the biggest of them all, right?
Yes.
Because I hate to put it this way, in his time in the National Football League, he was a punter.
Yeah.
He was a punter.
Yeah.
Right? Now he's making more money than any other former athlete in all of North America right now, because his show is so huge. In fact, he was on the ESPYs as a host just last night. So he's now incorporated, working with ESPN as a former athlete. It's just out there. And what you're going to find is, because it's him, he has that experience, he's been in the league, players will be attracted to him and coming on his podcast more so than anyone else, because they know what he's been through. They may know him personally. There's connections with the agents, and you're seeing that kind of experience now available, and ESPN's taking advantage of it and have signed a big check for him.
Big checks.
Big
shifting that kind of mindset over to Katherine. This doesn't preclude other people from doing the same things, right? Like, the average civilian, we can call ourselves, as opposed to athletes that are looking to grow a business or do something in that realm, can easily leverage some of these trends and some of this social media to be able to get the message out. I feel like the foundation of the message is who we are as human beings, right? Genuinely speaking, I know athletes always have these personas that they build up as their, as athletes, like, what's his name, played for Florida, the guy that everybody, the Rat, can't think of his name. You got him. No.
Oh, you're talking about
Marchand.
Brad Marchand.
Yeah. So I mean, they build these personalities, but that's the same kind of mindset that business own. And obviously, you don't want to be a ratty personality as a business owner, but the same kind of mindset that we have as business owners, trying to build our businesses out there in the world, and leveraging things like television, social media, and these other aspects to be able to create those personas. Am I right there, Katherine?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right. The biggest trend right now is real, authentic, telling a story. And I don't have a bias in terms of media, because I sell digital as well. We have a whole digital branch. It's like I have these two great kids. I love them just the same, TV and digital, right? They're a little bit different. They're a lot different, but they work fantastic together. Now, to use them properly is to, follow the trends and make sure that you are telling an authentic, genuine story. One thing that's great about Bubba's podcast that I just love, is that there is this opportunity to tell a full story, to find out all about who he's interviewing, like start to finish. Let's just take us through that story. And that is what is so wonderful about television. Even if it's in a 30-second commercial, you can tell so much about a business owner. Is it a family-run business? Why are you better than your competitor? Or maybe it has nothing to do with that, just your brand, right?
That's exactly the great point. Everybody, so there's room for everybody in the marketplace.
There's room for
That's
everybody.
the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
Right? There's plenty of sportscasters out there. There's plenty of business people out there, and plenty of realtors out there. Not everybody's going to gel with each person, right? So you got to find your person, right? And by putting your personality and your world out there as a genuine human being, you connect with people that actually like you, right? And that's really the message here. That's why I love when athletes connect as real humans to people and we can really see who they are. Because before they were up on these pedestals, but then you had Joe Namath drinking his face off and behind the scenes and nobody really knew what was going on.
I'm not struggling. Struggling.
Oh, geez.
I know Joe Namath.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I said the name. I figured I'd bring you into it. But interestingly, at the beginning of this, before Bubba popped on, I was asking Katherine, like, why did you get into the media? How did you get in? What was your story to get in? Because it's interesting to hear sort of like your origin story as to why you're doing what you're doing. I'm going to actually ask the same question to Bubba right now. What was it that drew you to the sports? I mean, I know as kids, we all love sports, but you really took it to the biggest level you possibly could with what you've done. What was it that drew you down that path?
Well, and you're right. I mean, like many boys and especially girls right now, which I think is outstanding. You want to be involved in sports. You want to play sports. I just happen to be, for whatever reason, more interested in the television or broadcast side of it. I mean, I have childhood heroes that were on television as broadcasters, as opposed to the athletes. For some reason, I love their voice. I love their excitement. I love the way, as Katherine said, the way they told a story. And that happened at a real young age. And I've only wanted to do it. I feel so neat in saying this. I've only wanted to do two things in my entire life as a child, and that was be a sports broadcaster or be an air traffic controlman. I'm kind of a plain geek. So
those are two opposites.
Yeah, right. But my parents, right, especially back in the day, I'm getting old now, that at the time, the technology to be an air traffic controlman was much different. And we saw that job was a high stress, high pressure job. And my parents consistently they wanted me to do whatever I wanted to do. But they kind of really pushed me in the sense that I don't know if that's what you really want to do. That's, I mean, there was a suicide rate with that job. I mean, I could go on and on, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you love sports so much. You're always in. I would be reading the newspaper at 8 years old, looking up at statistics.
Oh my goodness.
And you could ask me questions on the daily of how many goals does, Doug Gilmour have right now? And I could tell you, right? So what do? You try to follow your passions. You don't let anyone get in your way. And I have been so fortunate in the people that I have met in my career, the people that I've been able to network with, the lessons that I've learned. And I think the biggest thing of all is I've listened. And I think it's the skill that is just lost in today's society to some extent. And the people that listen, to me, are the ones that are the most successful, because I'd be more than willing to sit there and listen to, believe me, I could name all the broadcasters out there, past and former, some that are with us and some that are not with us. Brian Williams, when I was so young in the business, I would ask them, can I come in and sit in your, like for CFL games, can I come and sit in your meetings with the head coaches? Just want to listen. I want to learn.
Cool.
Rod Black, the same thing. somehow, because I would ask them, and I give credit to these people because, and this is, I'll use the word mentorship, they thought it was important for someone young in the business to learn the proper way of journalism, the way things are done. And they would allow me to do these kind of, give me that type of access, and I would just sit there and shut up and listen. And I think that was a huge thing in my career in terms of advancing me and getting me opportunities that a lot of people never got. And I tried to take advantage of them as much as I could. And here I am today. So I can honestly say, if I were to drop dead today, that I always did what I wanted to do.
Go ahead, Katherine.
No, I was going to say there's that saying, right? The loudest person in the room is the most insecure, right? Or they're deaf, right? But there's about this business. And when I got in, the reason why I think I translated so well into sales and being able to help all these different businesses was because I asked questions and I had to listen. When you're a journalist, you ask questions. And, there's this technique where if it's not the answer necessarily that you were looking for, or the information that you were hoping to get, you ask it a different way. Right, Bubba?
Yep.
So, and that, we all know that that's one of Bubba's greatest skills, but to be able to translate that and be able to sit back and just listen to who you're interviewing, listen to the business that you're trying to help.
I was going to just circle back to the original comment, which was, and it just kind of hammered me, which was, I was a baseball kid, so I grew up playing baseball. My first memories of the Toronto Blue Jays, quite frankly, as much as they are the names of the players and so on, the first thing you hear over the radio waves or on TV before the Jays even come out on the field are the voices of those broadcasters.
Yep.
Right? That is the introduction to sports that most people get when they turn on the TV to watch a game of any kind. And it's very interesting to hear how you've translated and that kind of hit you home, because touch them all, Joe, you're never going to hit a bigger one than this. Oh. I will never forget that line.
Right. And there's so many of them, like I always think of the Tiger Woods, at the Masters, in your life. Like you can go on and on with the amount.
It's amazing.
The 76 Olympics with the United States. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Are you kidding me? Like, those are iconic things. And I always wanted to be one of those persons that was in a situation that I could express myself that way, but not so much. And you guys do it in real estate and you do it in sales. But for me, it wanted to be sports, right? Yeah. Because to me, I always saw sports as, for most people, now it's a business for me, but for most people, it's a way out of business. It's that they can just tune out and watch sports and cheer for their favorite team. And I wanted to be that person that gave you that. The feeling of sadness when you lose and the feeling of joy when you win. And I wanted to be connected to that.
I did a deal last night. We sort of did a bit of a real estate deal last night. I turned around and with my daughter in the room, and I went, yes. And we both kind of had a little high five, and it was a big deal. Same feeling as you get when you hit a bomb, or you make a good call, or you do something great, right? It's all the same, just in different industries, really, at the end of the day. The difference being whether or not you love what you do. I probably wouldn't do that like that if I didn't really love what I did.
Well, think about it, Justin.
Just do the deal, sign the paperwork, job done. Okay, move on to the next.
Well, think about it, Justin. Think about it, Justin. Like when you do your deal, right? Okay, yes, there's a financial gain and and you get paid. Yeah, for sure. But isn't there for you that feeling of, maybe, especially if it's someone in their first home, and you were able to be that conduit, you were that person to get them their first home? Katherine, the same thing with you, like a company that is looking to spread the word of their company, and you're able to be that connector. Like, what an amazing thing. What a great skill. What a great talent. What a great ability. What a great pleasure it is to be that person.
Yeah.
Well, I can only imagine it's incredible to put people on TV and see their faces when they're sitting there doing those interviews with some of your anchors, Katherine? Like, that's your little baby out there doing their thing. Like, you're growing that thing, right?
Yeah, I had a client friend in yesterday, and she was very, very nervous. and I didn't have to be there with her, but it was this foundation that I mean, it just has, if you are from Burlington, it has touched your heart.
You can absolutely talk about it if you feel like, because I know we talked about it before. This is the place there, anything goes. If you want to mention it, by all means.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get the name right. It was a little girl by the name of Jane, and it's an event, fundraising event, and it's in her memory, and it's going to be happening down at Spencer Smith Park on August the 8th. I hope to see you there, Justin. And yeah, for me, it was earlier than my time to start, but I booted there in my boxing clothes and my gym clothes, and I just wanted to make sure she was ready to go. She had never been on television before. Oh my gosh, she hit it out of the park. She was so fantastic, and it was just having a conversation with her, bringing her into the building, walking her around. Bubba, you know, our building is like our second home, right? It is and we want people to come in and feel welcome in there. So just showed her around, got her comfortable, and then just had a conversation. She knows all about her foundation. It's her foundation. So there's no question that's going to be asked that she doesn't know the answer for. And just bring it down. Oh God, I couldn't have been more proud of her. And so I can't wait for it to sell out.
Well, we'll put the link to that down below as well, so we make sure everyone has a copy of that for sure.
Yeah, it's called, it's called the Love Jane Foundation.
The Love Jane Foundation. Yep. And there's an event down at Spencer Smith Park. It's about $50 per person. It's going to be great. We're gonna look at the tickets and see if we can get them ourselves. So just to kind of round this up, because we're coming down to the 30 minutes of the show. Karen, first of all, do you have any questions before we kind of go? Because you've been very quiet this whole
No,
time.
but I have. Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Okay. So I do have some comments, and I think the four of us are in the same sort of realm of listening, and I have listened all my life, and I still don't get it sometimes, but I've listened all my life. But the thing is that it's just, if you, as Justin says, if you love what you do, then you will be successful at what you do. And it's such a pleasure to hear both you and Katherine talk about this, because when you meet someone who loves their business, you know that they're passionate, and you know that they're very, very kind, successful people. And that's what I love. So there's my, I have no questions, because I think you're just fabulous, the two of you. And my son, of course.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
But can I say one more thing there too?
Sure, go ahead.
No.
You know, just, and Karen, you can attest to this, is that all the things you just said there are so true. But because of the passion, because the fact you love what you do, you love giving back in that aspect, you'll last in your business longer than most. Because if you don't have that passion, you flame out.
Is that why I can't get rid of my clients?
right. But how many years have you been in the business? How many people, how many hands have you shaken? How many deals have you done? How many smiles have you put on faces? Right. And that's because you like what you do. And when you have that passion, you'll last in this business, because I've seen a lot of people, and Katherine, you've seen some of this too, in this very station. And I've worked at Sportsnet for over a decade. I've seen people who don't have that passion, and they're no longer in the business. It's plain and simple.
Yeah. They
Well,
come and go.
People that are in business for themselves, like us, but also in a business like media, like you guys, it can be lonely. And there are a lot of moments when you feel very much alone, because you're on that little island trying to do your thing, and there's really no one around that you can feel out for support. In some cases, obviously there are people, but it's hard to sometimes see those people. And so being able to, strive forward and keep pushing forward through that loneliness, through the toughness, through all the comments. Bubba, I mean, how many times have people said horrible things about you in the media? right? I mean, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know, whatever,
That's,
like, you know, that kind of crap. It happens, right?
it happens.
And that's even worse and more polarizing than it's ever been today with the social media that we just talked
Yeah.
about. So, you know, I mean, the world is full of hate, vitriol, all these things, but four of
No.
us.
The world is full of people that need to get a life. That's what
I love it.
they need to get a life instead of you know, scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and criticizing.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do, is to get their lives in order to grow, and they're not doing that. And so this is, you know, this is what is affecting us. But it's funny because I think life, whatever it gives you, and as I say to everybody, you know, you brush yourself off and you get up and you keep walking. Sticks and stones will hurt my bones, but names will never hurt me, you know. Things like that. Anyway, that's my say for today.
It's all truth, though.
Listen, four people
Yeah.
that have an incredible passion for our work and the things that we do. Four people in this room right now that insist on happiness and love and joy over all the other crap going on in the world. I really appreciate this room right now, and I appreciate you guys for coming on. And we're going to tag podcasts and all kinds of things below. Thank you, Bubba, for dropping in. That was a really lovely surprise, and Catherine for arranging it. And Catherine, thank you for coming on and sharing. If there's anybody that wants to get a hold of Catherine for any kind of media that they require for their business to be able to promote themselves through television or other media sources, Catherine's your person. You just need to reach out, bottom line. And Bubba, listen, I don't know what to say about you. What do you with your podcast? Tell me about your podcast.
Just watch, like, and subscribe.
There you go. Watch, like, and subscribe. That's the new tagline for everybody now.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Okay. Bye, everybody.